Dosta will bring. Zaunil will cure. Ulunatha dalminuk elgekas. Usta dalminuk natha xundus. Lueth natha zaun sunor ulu zaun. Lueth dos. Osta alor dalminuk. Dosta dalminuk folor nindel velbor. Draz ulu folor natha elgekeres. Nindel vlask xuntal za. Belbau full zaunil. Bella dosta dalminuk. Ldevia sensrig. Xundos full elg. Quarval shares dosta velus elgin folor dost maya. Lolth zan ulu talent. Ulu dos full cure laqua.
Ustan zaun mendin ulu dos. Vlos zaun glarulkir, shail mendin. Shal kjorl mesh. Pla Drow Menzoberranzan thol, shil bella nathaburia.
Nathajul, naut Thorjaun Nindintil.
I will remember everything you taught me.
Are you so very sure of yourself?
I am a fighter, a Drow warrior.
You're a dancer, an imposter, a pretender to a title you cannot begin to understand. A Drow warrior? Do you know the emotions of murder? Have you reconciled with what you've done? Remember who you really are. Do not become like them.
Lolth Zan Ulu Safnatha Wantlu Dalhartlu Ulu Fair Laquarval Sharas Davlos Dos Orn Kjolnindol Jabreth Lust de Sints de Lolth.
One cycle to find a girl who vanished nearly 3 decades ago. No name, no face. Zak would have died before giving either. He was the one who saved her after all. And still, you can almost hear Malice whispering, "Prove yourself worthy." But what then? If you find her, what are you willing to do? Would you sacrifice an innocent to save your father? You feel lost, alone. But Menzoberranzan is not a city known for its patience, so you move. You return to the streets already emptied of answers. Rain clings to you like a memory that will not wash away. Half a cycle spent chasing a ghost. Doors closed, eyes lowered. 30 years of silence, and you're the only one still asking. You walk without knowing where the streets lead anymore. The city feels smaller tonight, and heavier. You keep walking until the stairs find you. You sit by the steps, just breathing, because it's the only thing left to do. Your hands will not stop shaking. You remember Zak's smile, the one that made surrender look like courage, and you wonder what's left to trade for a life. Zak, what should I do? You ask yourself, not really waiting for an answer. You don't notice the footsteps until the sound of a stumble cuts through the rain. Someone hits the ground beside you, parchment scattering, a muffled curse under her breath. Your mood takes control before reason. "You'll break your neck that way," you say to the hooded one. No reaction at first, just a hiss of breath, another curse beneath it. Then a low, irritated, tired voice. "It's not your concern, male." A priestess, still crouched, gathering the papers with slow, clumsy movements. You notice blood at her elbow. Looks like that box was the only thing she managed to protect. "You're bleeding," you mutter. The words taste bitter. "Aren't you a priestess? Can't you heal yourself?" Her answer comes low, almost weary at first. "That's a spell I was never meant to learn," she says softly. Then her tone spikes, sharp, venomous. Her hand already finding the whip at her hip. "Mind your tongue before I..." She stops. Her eyes find yours. "Brother. Vienna." The rain keeps falling, soft, endless. You study her, soaked, trembling. The confidence of a priestess is gone, replaced by someone who's been running through too many dead ends. Her breath keeps breaking between words. "House Baenre, the old ones. Before the purge, I found gaps, names erased but not forgotten." Her sentences stumble over each other, half-formed thoughts straining to connect. There are blanks, transfers that don't fit. You narrow your eyes, trying to make sense of her. "Vienna, what are you saying?" She looks past you, still caught in her own chase. "The girl," she says, "I think I found where she was hidden." You take a step closer, voice low. "You're certain?" "No. Zak covered her tracks too well." but one name, one child, appeared in Baenre's temple rolls not long after the raid. Too young to be ordained, a lineage that doesn't exist. Her eyes lower, rain tracing the lines of her face. If she's still alive, that's where she'll be. She unclasps the cloak from her shoulders and holds it out to you. You can't walk into a temple as a male. This will hide you long enough to pass unnoticed. Promise you'll bring it back to me. It's warm from her body, and for a heartbeat, you feel her familiar scent, something you haven't known since your childhood. For a moment, neither of you speak. The rain fills the silence, where words would have failed. Menzoberranzan, the city of the dark elves, carved deep beneath the surface. No sky, no sun to tell the hours. Only the fire of Narbondel, the great pillar that burns once each cycle to mark the passing of time. And you know the glow is fading. You don't have much left. Following Vienna's clues is the only lead you still have. If Vienna's right, she's inside the secondary temple of House Baenre. A quiet place on the city's edge, meant for training priestesses and keeping secrets. You are here, in Narbondelin. Between you and that temple lies half the city, so you move. You walk beneath the glow of Narbondel, through the city's most elegant quarter. Broad streets wind between carved manors and glowing shop fronts lit by fairy fire. Vienna once said the best gems and perfumes were sold here. For you, it's the taverns. This is where you first met your half-dwarf friend. You wonder where he's gone. You haven't seen him in cycles. You cross the bridge toward Quelazol, the plateau they call the House Lolth, home to the city's most powerful houses, and to the kind of power you no longer envy. Half the journey behind you now. To your left, the tallest spires in Menzoberranzan rise through the cavern mist. House Baenre, the first house of the city, oldest and most feared. Lolth favours them above all others, and every priestess here knows it. Then the sound changes. Dripping stone, chittering legs, beating wings. Kjorblivin, a forest of giant mushrooms and the hunting ground of the great houses. Spiders weave across the paths. Drow patrols move silent between the stalks. You keep low and move fast. And finally, through the haze, you see it. A forgotten temple, hidden deep within the city's border. You stop beneath the archway, the only dry ground left in sight. A lone male guard stands outside the temple, drenched, motionless. Not allowed to step inside, not allowed to seek cover. You know the feeling. The usual priestess treatment for the young, the inexperienced. You weigh your choices. I could easily knock him down, hide him in the shadows. But this is Baenre Territory, too much ground to reach safety. No, Vienna's cloak was meant for this. You decide. You lower your head and walk, confident, deliberate. No one would be foolish enough to enter a temple uninvited. Rain patters against stone, each step louder than you'd like. The guard glances up, just long enough to make your heart race, then looks away. It worked. You're safe. Wait! You stop. His voice cuts through the rain. Your hand slips toward the scimitars beneath your cloak. A pause. A long, uneasy silence. Through the corner of your eye, you catch his face twist. Strained, tense, unreadable. You brace for the worst. Then, a long, wet, echoing sound. The guard freezes. He drops to one knee, mortified. Forgive me, priestess. The stew, You don't move. Neither does he. The sacrifice, it's already begun. The danger passes. Things would have gotten messy if you had to act. Maybe the gods are at your side. You let the tension drain and walk through the door. The world goes quiet for a moment. You take a step closer. Braziers burn hot, their light flooding the room. Incense fills your lungs, but not enough to mask the iron scent of blood. 5 priestesses you start to analyse. None seem to notice or care about your late arrival. Something unusual, wrapped in white leather, calls your attention. It's smooth, still. It resembles the spider cocoons you once found along the hunting paths of Blivin. So, what now? You ask yourself. All you have is the chance that one of them may be that forgotten ghost you must bring to Malice. The ritual continues. Voices weaving a chant that sounds more like a command than a prayer.
Lolth, Sinsrig Delil Alor, Jaun Udost Quarth.
Her voice cuts through the silence, calm but strained.
Udosren Tluwon Lil Alor, Ululil Alor, Foler Udos Rath. Zuil Ulucheb Mzild Lil Natha Dalharag, Ulucheb Lil Belbao, Foler Lil Quarth. Udos Natha Velbol, Ulu, Lisinsrig.
Her tone falters. You notice, not fear, but resistance, like something inside her fighting the words she speaks.
Ustan Srig Ulu Lalirai de Sins, Lo El Kares Ulu Lil, Jaun.
She steps forward, raising the cocoon toward the sky.
Shin Srig de Lolth, not the Belbao Fuller Lalil Alur.
The priestess beside her unwraps the leather. And for the first time, you realize what's inside. Silence spreads across the room. It's not silk inside. It's not a spider. It's flesh, small, trembling. A recent born. Your breath freezes. A third-born son, like you once were, about to be sacrificed for the sin of being the third male child. Zak's voice cuts through you immediately.
Yes.
The memory of him
was
describing
there.
how your life almost ended before it even began.
At the fall of House DeVir, I led the charge. We cut them all down. No witnesses, no mercy. That is the law. But there she was, a child, not trembling, just watching. She looked at me, eyes screaming a question I still can't answer. Are you like them? I wasn't. Not at that moment. No one ever knew she survived. The same night you were laid on the altar, marked for death. Dinin slit your brother's throat to take his place.
Dosta will Jaunel Xwil Kjol Elgajas Unsta Yarnil Ram Shaleskaram.
And just like that, you were no longer the third son. That's why you live, boy. Not by fate, not by mercy, but by murder. Can't you see? Are you so blind to the evil around you?
So it begins. Again. Another altar. Another life. You doubt this one will have the same luck you had. Maybe that's mercy after all. But your pulse hammers. You can't help yourself. You analyse your situation. You scan the room. 5 priestesses. Only one exit. A guard with a ranged weapon outside. You're deep in Baenre Territory. Too deep. You could hide at Blivin, the forest of giant mushrooms. But could you survive the spiders, carrying a crying infant through the dark? If you save this baby, what about your mission? You don't know which of them is the one you came for. If you strike now, you might save the child. But what about Zak? One child, 1,000 like him. 1,000 I'll never reach. A reasoning you can't silence. You hold your breath, every thought collapsing into noise as the priestess continues the ritual.
Lidal haruk telant, ulula quarth, ulu jaun luril natha belbao.
She raises her dagger high. You feel the urge crawl up your spine. Move, act, do something. But she stops, frozen in silence, her eyes fixed on the child. A pause far too long for the moment. That spark of doubt, the same one that once lived in Zak's eyes. The priestess beside her breathes the words like a curse. Coward. You were never truly Baenre. That's when you know. She's the one. It must be her. The lost girl you were sent to find. Her hand falls, the weight of choice in every motion, whispering,
No, not Nindol.
Relief hits you like air after drowning. A defiance, a chance. Then, quick and cold, without warning, the priestess beside her snatches the dagger and finishes the ritual in one sharp motion before you even comprehend. Blood spatters across the altar. You realise the child didn't even scream. The world narrows to a single point, everything else fading at the edges. The scent of iron and incense mix, heavy, choking. The heat from the braziers presses against your skin. You shout, every shred of air torn from your lungs, but you hear nothing. You seize the brazier with both hands, the metal hissing against your skin, searing through flesh, but you feel nothing. Flames and smoke burst upward, making your eyes sting, begging to be closed. But you don't. You keep moving. You don't care. You cut through the smoke, grab her wrist, and run. You burst through the doorway, smoke still clinging to you, checking for the guard. Nothing. The guard who should have barred your path is caught completely off guard. Fine. You don't slow down. You don't think. The cavern air hits your burned hands like stone dust poured into open wounds. Dry, cold, merciless. But you keep going, not looking back. The ground opens beneath your feet, cavern roads sprawling in every direction, lit by cold mage lamps and the distant glare of Baenre's spires. You don't break stride. You drag her with you. 3 exits. No time. Main road, 2 exposed. Patrols will sweep it first. Back the way you came. They'll choke that path shut. Forest, spiders, ravines, death. But a way down if you reach the cliffs. You veer toward the only chance you have. Behind you she stumbles, breath sharp and furious. Stop! Who are you to drag me? You ignore her. You keep moving. She yanks her arm free and snaps, Who are you? What are you doing? Where? You don't have time. You don't have space. You don't have breath to waste. You cut her off as you say, We're saving Zak. She goes still. Her voice dies. Her eyes widen. Shock, recognition, memory. Something she spent years burying. She says nothing more. You enter the giant mushroom forest. She catches up, and her pride flares as she spits. We won't survive the spiders. You throw the answer back without looking at her. Better the spiders than Baenre's wrath. You commit. The forest rises around you, swallowing the light behind. Forward is the only place left. You've been walking for a while, long enough that the tension should have broken by now, long enough that something in this place should have struck, but nothing does. No spiders, no patrol, just silence that shouldn't exist. This is wrong. She slows, scanning the stillness. Quiet is good, you say. Keep moving. You guide her toward the light, a massive mushroom cap washed in the magic shimmer of Narbondel, the glowing tower that keeps the city lit for half of each cycle. The ground dips as you pass it. You steady yourself with your burned hand against the stalk. Pain bursts up your palm. A breath slips out through your teeth. Stop, she says. You ignore it and press forward. Her hand clamps around your wrist. I said stop. She studies your shaking fingers. Idiot! You can't climb down the ravine like this. How would you know what I can or can't do? You snap back. She doesn't rise to the bait. I'm not dragging a dead weight down a cliff. Sit. She nods toward the base of the mushroom. You drop onto it, breath tight, knowing she's not wrong. Ahead, the ground dips toward the ravine's direction, a reminder of how much worse this could get if your hands fail you when it matters. She settles beside you, takes your ruined hand, and begins a clipped, low prayer. The spell burrows under the skin, forcing half-healed flesh to pull tighter, dragging raw edges together long before they're ready. Not clean, not gentle. Each pulse digs deeper, pain thickening with every surge of energy forced through you. Zaknafein, she asks. He's alive, you answer, being held northwest of the city at the House DeVir compound. Her expression hardens, controlled, cold. You continue. It's a temple vault. Guard rotations, locks, exits. I know them. I was raised. Her dagger is at your throat before the word finishes leaving your mouth. So you're Do Erden? You stay still. Your hand is still locked in hers, the spell still burning through your nerves. I was an infant when your house fell, about to be sacrificed the same night Zak spared you. Her jaw tightens. The blade holds for a heartbeat. Another. Then lowers. Anger caged but still alive beneath her composure. Zaknafein, she mutters. He always stood between death and someone else. He hasn't changed, you say. Not where it matters. Malice, matron mother of our house, has him. The name hits her like a thrown stone. Malice Do Erden. She spits it, venom and memory fused in a single breath. Silence presses between you, heavy, suspended. Then she exhales, steady. When we reach Duthcloim, we go to my home first. I have gear there. We'll need it. You nod. The spell finally slows. Pain still sharp, but your hand holds together. You'll still feel pain, she says, but you can hold a weapon now. You flex your fingers. They obey, barely. Let's go, she says, already rising. You stay where you are. Wait. What? I need you to know something, you say. She turns back, annoyance flickering. I was ordered to take you back, to trade you for Zak. She goes still. But that's not what I'm doing. If we go into Baenre Territory, we go together, on our own terms. You look at her, uncertain of her next move. She turns and starts walking. We're wasting time, she throws over her shoulder. You rise and fall in behind her, understanding now how deeply Zak matters to her. We take it slow. Climbing clearly isn't her thing. You can't help noticing how tightly she hugs the stone. I hate this, she mutters, the words slipping free before she can swallow them. Can't we go back? I don't think the Baenres will receive you with open arms, you say. Take your time. We're almost there. She drags one boot down, finds a foothold, tests it. Only then does she ease her weight onto it. You move again, taking the lower hold. Stone grinds under your fingers as you work your way down. You stop on a narrow jut of rock, waiting for her to match you above, and before you even notice, your gaze drifts toward the city. For a brief moment, you forget your surroundings and let the light of Narbondel bring you a quiet peace. You've seen it your whole life, but lately, when you look at it, your memories flood with the stories about the sun. Merchants speaking in hushed tones about a light that rises by itself. Slaves whispering that the sun paints the world in colours the Underdark has never known. A warmth that doesn't need stone or spell, that simply exists. You try to picture it, brightness falling from above, not caged in a tower of rock, a world without a ceiling, horizons your eyes can never hope to catch, grass, wildflowers and whole forests shifting into different colours with each passing season. A life where murder isn't the law and cruelty isn't the price of being born. A place where you wouldn't have to walk alone. If you could ever just stand in that light, maybe you'd finally have your peace. No. Valthrain drift, humid air, caps splitting early tonight, spores holding in the air, barely rising, mid-phase behaviour, the climb in the dark, the walk through Doothcloym. I thought we'd lost more time. The cycle hasn't turned yet. We're still inside the window. Zak isn't gone. You shut the door behind you with a soft thud, and the room reveals itself. A single chamber carved from worn stone, cramped and bare. A bed pressed against one wall. A dented table beneath a lone lantern that warms only half the space. And there, propped beside the bed, a tower shield. DeVir craftsmanship. The curves, the filigree, the traditional geometric imprint. Exactly the kind instructors drilled into you at the academy so you could identify a house even in the dark. A quiet, involuntary cackle slips out before you can stop it. Zak, you really did it, didn't you? Smuggling her out wasn't enough. You even kept the last pieces of her identity. Your eyes drift toward the mace on the table, the twin to the shield, unmistakable. Same lineage, same story, but the flower beside it steals the moment before the thought can settle. A surface bloom, fragile, short-lived, the kind that would never survive without sunlight. Merchants haul these from the upper tunnels at absurd prices. Even then, it would wither in a handful of days. Sit, she says. Here. She gestures beside the bed. I need to change. We'll talk about the plan as I do. She crouches near a low niche in the wall, the kind used to hide what truly matters, pulling out a small stone chest and setting it beside her, fingers careful, almost reverent. You lower yourself onto the bed and drop the scimitars beside you. The dark window offers a moment of stillness, enough for the real problem to surface. Malice. Every approach collapses the moment you test it. Stealth fails, force fails. Even threats would only amuse her. She'll see any simple move long before you make it. Her voice comes from behind you. Share it with me. How do we do this? You answer without looking back. We can't go quietly, and we can't fight through them. Any route we try, they'll shut it down before we reach him. She knows me well enough to predict every obvious step. She gives a soft sound of acknowledgement while unfolding something. How do we get to him? You murmur, without them using you against me. She answers your drifting thought with a new angle. If not steel, not shadows, then a bargain. Do we have anything worth 2 lives? His and mine? You frown at the window. A bargain. What could outweigh the value of the best weapon master in Menzoberranzan and the proof she failed her purge? A hush settles. She thinks for a while, then adds, Priestesses need favour. Houses need standing. That matron of yours may act like she's above all of it, but she isn't. The council, the city, the eyes that judge power, she still plays under all of that. You sift through the tangle of politics, its pressures, its hierarchies, the web every house pretends not to be caught in. If she feels threatened, you mutter, she twists everything to her advantage. If she feels safe, she crushes anything that inconveniences her. Then don't give her safety, she says. Give her something she wants more. You start to dismiss it, then stop mid-breath. Not the answer, but a hinge. Zak used to say something when he trained me. You turn slightly, curiosity breaking through. A house doesn't fear blades in the dark, she says. It fears what the city will see in the light. You murmur it back, something shifting beneath the words. What the city will see in the light? Not clarity, not yet, but direction. A thought forms, sharper this time. It's not our deaths that matter to her, it's what we can be used for, the advantage she could take, the gain she could claim. Silence. Then she asks, what does the matron hunger for above all else? You answer without hesitation. The house's power, the house's rise, the council seat she can't reach. And that is when the pieces finally lean toward each other. You inhale sharply. There might be a loophole, you whisper, involving Baenre. A loophole? She asks. During a purge, no house is allowed to interfere. No sheltering, no repurposing, no keeping survivors. You look toward the flower. Fragile, impossible, alive anyway. And Baenre sheltered you. Her eyes narrow. Wait, what? She says. But it was your house that hid me there. I know, you reply. And that doesn't matter. Who caused it doesn't matter. Baenre still sheltered you. If the council ever learned they hid the last DeVir, the purge becomes invalid. A small, sharp smile touches her mouth. Then her eyes sharpen again. And how does that save us? It means Do-Erden cannot be punished for a purge Baenre contaminated. And if I speak for us, I think I can make an argument she can't ignore. She doesn't speak, so you continue. Slower now, more certain. It won't be easy, and it won't be pleasant. But if she sees advantage, real advantage, she might spare us long enough to use it. A deeper pause, then softly, almost reluctantly. Now this may require more than standing beside me. You might have to belong to the house, as a Doe Erden. You're asking me to wear the name of the house that destroyed mine? You don't argue the house. You'd be wearing Zak's, you say, and mine. This is the only path where any of us survive. She hesitates. Her eyes meet yours. No, she says, steady. Living under a matron, under her. I would be in chains again. You meet her eyes this time. I know, you say, and you mean it. I hate it too. A breath. We're not choosing a future, just the chance to reach one. And if the matron sees through it, she asks. Then we die, you say simply. But if she accepts, we walk out together, all three of us. A quiet settles, heavy and real. Then speak for us, she says. The audience hall. Malice didn't even bother to change the place. Same chamber where she judges disputes, receives petitions. She's treating this like any other meeting. Narbondel is still unlit, so we made it within the cycle she gave me. Zak is alive. No blood, no marks. Just a little longer, Father. We're here. Breeza, your sister, stands behind him. Her dagger is already in her hand. She is exactly what this city forges when it has time and cruelty to spare. Disciplined, devout, eager for sanctioned pain, which means every step has to be clean. Nothing she can turn into permission to finish Zak where he kneels. Your other sister Maya stands to the right side, armoured the same way but restrained, watching, measuring. Where Breeza looks for a reason, Maya looks for timing. If this turns violent, she won't strike first. She'll wait for the right moment. A single guard, one of Malice's chosen. If you have to go through him, it won't be quick. You misread her calm. She wouldn't bring him here if this were just another meeting. Vienna stands apart, near the wall. No helmet, no weapon drawn. She came expecting a decision, not a fight. You notice how the white of her dress pulls every eye in the room. Is this the girl? Malice asks. Yes, you say. She is the last DeVir. Malice smiles. Well done, my boy, as expected. She lifts 2 fingers. Bring her forward. You don't move. Malice, you say, hear me out. You were not meant to speak again, and now the threat is real. You sent me to retrieve the last DeVir, you say, because her survival could still draw the Council's punishment to this house. You hold her gaze. I did what you asked, but what I found is worth more than her death. A pause. 30 years ago, House DeVir was purged, you continue. The execution was accepted as complete. Everyone in the hall knows the history. One life was spared by our house, and that mistake is known now, you say. It has already been weighed. You don't linger there. What was not known is where she was taken. All attention settles on you. She was absorbed by the first house, you say, House Baenre. Taken in as a captive Drow. Used. The name cuts cleanly through the chamber. Not out of protection, you add, but for advantage. A ripple moves through the priestesses. A sanctioned purge forbids interference, you continue. Concealment, possession, transfer, any involvement after the decree voids the act. They know the doctrine. If interference occurs, you say, responsibility follows it. Your eyes return to the throne. If the council learns that Baenre held a DeVir survivor after the purge, you say, the execution collapses under its own authority. You let the conclusion stand. House DeVir cannot be punished for an invalid execution. Silence holds. That survivor binds the failure to the house that claimed her. You continue. As long as that bond exists, the risk remains. You draw a breath. There are two living witnesses to it, you say, the survivor and the one who spared her. Zak lifts his eyes to you. His expression hardens. As long as they live, you continue, the truth can surface. You let that settle. That truth carries weight, you say, and that weight can be turned. Your gaze stays on Malice. Turned into leverage strong enough to force a place at the council, you continue. A seat taken, not granted. Now you offer the solution. There is a way to contain it. You choose your words carefully. If the survivor is absorbed into House DeVir, you say, she leaves the reach of other houses. A faint murmur stirs, then dies. The one who spared her must remain alive, as a witness to the interference. Zak's shoulders tense, just enough to show he hears the cost. Both contained, you finish. Both controlled. You hold Malice's gaze. The council never needs to act, you say. And if it ever does, you let the room complete the thought. House DeVir holds the blade, you say, over the house that interfered. Silence. Nothing moves, nothing is decided, but every consequence now stands in the open. Malice does not answer you at once. She studies you with the calm attention she reserves for something that has proven itself sharper than expected. You've learned more than I thought, she says at last. The words carry weight. In this room, acknowledgement is never given lightly. You understand law, she continues. You understand consequence. And you understand how power is supposed to move. For the first time since you spoke, the ground feels steady beneath your feet. Then her expression shifts. But you have mistaken where the strength of this house comes from. She rises from the throne without urgency, her steps measured as she descends. You believe our failures can be turned into weapons, Malice says. That weakness can be shaped into advantage. Her gaze passes over Zak, bound and silent, then settles briefly on the woman beside you. That is when rot begins its spread. She stops at Zak, grips his chin with 2 fingers, and forces his face upward towards you. Zaknafein is a witness, she says. A witness to indulgence. A witness to the denial of Lolth's way. She releases him and steps back. The meaning sharpens, and you feel it slipping beyond your reach. What he spared once did not end with one life. It took root. Her eyes return to you. It reached you. Then she looks to the DeVir at your side. And this one, Malice continues, is not a weapon to be held in reserve. She is proof that deviation was allowed to remain. Proof that weakness was permitted to adapt. Malice steps closer. The mace comes up fast, grip set, arm ready. A line she is ready to cross. Your hand tightens at the hilt of your scimitar. For a breath, the thought forms. Distance, timing, the space between you and him. It collapses as soon as it takes shape. Breezer is already too close. You would never reach him in time. Your breath shortens as the shape of it becomes clear. Whatever you planned ends here, and you are running out of time. You're wrong, you say, the words breaking free before you can temper them. You have shown me what you can do, Malice interrupts calmly. And you have shown me what still binds you. She turns back toward the throne, as if the matter is already resolved. The moment fractures. There is no plan left to follow, only what you can still offer before everything closes. Mother, you say. Wait. The word is deliberate. I will serve you, you continue. As an instrument, I will stay. I will fight. I will do whatever you command. Malice stops. Slowly, she turns. And them? She asks. You swallow. Exile, you say. Send them anywhere beyond this city. She considers that. Exile, she repeats. Her eyes rest on you again. Zak finally lifts his head. He looks at you in recognition. He understands what you are offering, and what it costs. The DeVir's jaw tightens. She glances at you and whispers, barely audible, No. I could send them to Chedna Sard, Malice says. Without a house, it would be a slower end. Yes. The word scrapes out of you. Slower means movement. Movement means chance. It has to. Malice inclines her head once. She waits. Just enough. Breezer! As the urgency of the moment passes, your promise to Malice starts to haunt you. Can you really spend the rest of your life killing at your mother's demand? Can you really keep this promise? But you know that at least, if they are sent away together, they will survive. And someday, you might even see them again. Metal shifts. The silence that follows feels earned and unbearably final. Zak looks down at his hands, then up at you. There is no relief in his expression, only understanding. That is when you know. Father,
Drow Menzoberranzan.
yes, I will. I'll kill all of them.
So this is where you let go. You're tired. This is not the end. Malice, you erased my house, leaving me no future. I had nothing left, and still you chose to take the only one who stood beside me. I am Viconia DeVir, the last of my house, and you will seek my name. observe.
Can you believe this house has
Peace is not a place.
Take your mind.
and protection can become blind.
Say my name! Say it!
The light remains.
Mother, I've been thinking. I finally understand what Father wanted. This place was never meant to keep us. We won't be staying much longer. Everyone's worn out. Sleep, Maya. You'll grumble when you wake up. You always do. I found you. Why are you hiding here, Vienna? Hey, I'm going out with Father for a bit. We'll hunt deer, bring something to eat. Vicania's asleep. Let her rest. She's done enough. Don't tell the others, but you were always my favourite. Mother, I don't think I would be who I am if you hadn't raised me. And that's enough for me. Breeza, lend me Father for a second, will you? Father, Father. Are you awake? It's time. Come. Let's say our goodbyes to this city. It's warmer tonight. Back at the academy. This kind of night meant drills would run long. They said it helped us adapt to the surface. Mostly, it just meant more mistakes to get punished. You remember that corridor near the East Armory? The one that always smelled like oil? I tripped there. Twice. Vienna saw it, mocked me, said if I kept looking at my feet, I'd lose my teeth.
She wasn't wrong.
Yeah, but can you imagine Vienna mocking me for being clumsy? Her? You stopped laughing. Is she behind me right now?
Don't keep her standing.
Vienna? My father and I were discussing your legendary balance, but don't worry, your reputation is intact. Come, sit with us. It's better when you're here. Feels wrong when one of us is missing. Hey, do you remember the first time Father brought us up here? You weren't supposed to leave the inner sanctum that night. The novices had evening recitations. Mother wanted me accounted for. There had been a patrol inspection. But you said we needed to see the city from above at least once, remember? You told us that if you only ever look at the streets,
you start believing the walls of the world.
You do remember. I thought I was the only one who held on to that. You kept looking over your shoulder. You said if we got caught, you'd tell Mother it was my idea. You prick. You sat right here looking unimpressed. And when Narbondel flared, you pretended you weren't staring.
She never pretended well.
Yeah. You know, I used to think you just liked defying Mother. But you weren't fighting her. You were fighting this. These walls. This ceiling pressing down. The way the sky isn't there. Come with us. It doesn't have to be like this. We don't have to stay here.
Drizzt. Father is...
Oh, don't worry. He's just tired. It was a long night.
Brother, where are you?
We don't belong under stone, Vienna. I saw the sky. It's endless.
You know what the sun does to us. You know we can't live there.
It doesn't have to be decided tonight.
Tonight is already too late. Mother cannot shield you from them now. They will kill you, brother. Drizzt. Male minds fracture under her weight. Memory collapses around the divine breach. Do you remember the audience hall?
You were there. Why are you asking? Father was... It was just another family audience, right?
Lolth's madness is incurable. Those who fall are taken.
You worry too
studied,
much, Vienna.
open. Brother, they will pull from you whatever you touched within her.
Father, can you talk to her? You'll see. It'll be fine.
Look at you now. What did you think would happen? You let her burn through you without ritual. Mother wanted to see what you would become with her in you. She knew what losing him would do. And I didn't see through her.
You always wanted to see more. We can now.
We could run. We could hide you, call it ritual, say it was controlled, we could lie. No. Authority won't save you now. Not from what they saw. Do you have any idea what they will do to you? Do you understand where that leaves me? What I have to do to you.
I felt something up there I've never felt before, Vienna. I was walking through a forest, the moonlight falling through the trees. Something unusual caught my attention. A melody, drifting on the air. Soft, distant.
Why are you making this harder?
It was nothing like we hear here. It was pure, aching, as if the night itself was weeping.
Don't do this to me.
I followed it. When we reached the clearing, there were males, females, children. They were all dancing, together.
Brother, why do you look so peaceful?
They were connected to each other, to the land around them. Watching them, I felt
Why are you smiling? Stop it.
like I belonged there, with them, with that land.
Don't.
Vienna,
Stop.
that's
brother.
where we're supposed to be,
Please.
together. Me, you, and Father.
I can't do this.
It doesn't matter what you choose, sister. I'll always be with you. Alusrin, Velis, Sa.
Brother? You're still here. What are you doing? Let it go, brother. You can rest now. It's okay. What are you trying to... Promise you will bring it back to me. You remembered. No. What did I do? Brother. Stay with me, please. Don't go. You've lost too much blood. This will slow it down. Hold on. Drizzt, look at me. Stay awake. Don't close your eyes. The cloth isn't enough. I have to seal it. This will hurt. Forgive me. The bleeding stopped, but we need a healer. You lost too much blood. No, stay with me. You don't get to leave. Do you hear me? I order you to stay. Help! Someone! Please, anyone! Anyone, please. Brother, I'm so sorry. You denied me the power to heal. So be it. I will take it from another god. Whatever power listens beyond what I can see, whatever hand can reach into this darkness, hear me. I don't come with triumph or offerings to honor you. I come as I am, with nothing except what remains of me. If there is a price for what I ask, then take it. Take the strength that still moves in my body. Take the years that would have been mine to live. Take whatever part of me you would claim in time. I give it to you now. Place your power in my hands, just for this moment, and let me heal the wounds my own hands have made. Let me close what I have torn open. Let me hold him here. If a life must answer for his, then take mine instead. Just let him stay, please.
Stay with me.